Hello, Cancer friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Cancer November 2024 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. I'm calling the theme of this recording Success Strategy Checklist for Cancer this month because it's my intention to equip you with knowing exactly what the things are that you can do this month to make the most of all of the different layers of energies. And we have a lot to talk about. But fortunately, it's a lot less busy a sky astrologically than it has been in September and October. So we have that to be grateful for. We are at the tail end of eclipse season. So if you had any intensity there, then that's another positive check for this month that we're dealing with just a little bit less of that and fewer aspects altogether. So, there's just less communication in the sky, less activity going on up there. But that doesn't mean there's not going to be a lot of activity going on down here because we do have a ton of Sagittarius energy that is going to make things very busy. We'll talk about that soon. This is for you if Cancer is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Cancer placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Cancer friend, so birthdays like July 15th through the rest of the sign, or Cancer degrees 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Leo report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Podcast friends, I will put the chart as the thumbnail in case you want to have a peek and you know what you're looking at. If you want to learn more about it and see me working on the chart, you can come to the syndicated YouTube version at Annie Botticelli YouTube. If you don't want to see the chart, you can either scroll up in your page and listen, or you can find me on podcast. Hopefully the sounds of Hurricane Helene in the background won't be too distracting. I do have what I believe to be a good microphone, so hopefully that will filter some of this out. But if you do hear some wildness, then we're in a hurricane, so doing the best I can. Okay, so to give you your success strategy checklist for this month, I'm going to break down transits and aspects that are occurring and give you some ideas of how to best deal with that or work with the energies. Everything we're going to talk about is through a very retrograde lens. As we progress, I will be giving more details about that, but just a little bit to know up front. November and December are completely covered in Mercury retrograde energy, and since October 8th, we've been deepening in our Mars retrograde pre-shadow transit or pre-transit shadow period. Mars goes officially retrograde on December 6th, but every day we get through November, we're deeper in that energy. I'll be explaining this as we go along, but I just wanted to give you some dates. The Mercury retrograde, November 8th is the shadow period beginning. The official retrograde is the 25th. It's retrograde until December 14th, and the post-shadow period will go till January 3rd. So as I refer back to this retrograde energy, I just want you to have some dates in mind so that you know how long these energies will be in effect for. So October 8th was when the shadow period started for Mars retrograde. December 6th through February 25th of 2025 will be that Mars retrograde, and that post-shadow period will go well into May. So we're in a time when the tides are coming in. Anything you try to put out on those tides will boomerang back to you. If the thing you're doing, you want to come back to you quickly, like a quick promotion and it's something experimental, something that's short term, perfect. This month is great for that. And that is one of the things on your success strategy checklist is understanding the retrogrades. Okay. When you are in a retrograde time, you are the spider who has already woven your webs. And now you hang out and you wait for food to show up. And so you don't go trying to conjure, trying to build new webs all over the place. You can repair your webs, work with the things right in front of you, and then jump on the opportunities that present. And the less you leave yourself unscheduled with unnecessary busy work, the more you'll be able to jump on those last minute magic, as I like to call them, opportunities that come in retrograde time. So November is much more chill for several reasons. First of all, being out of the, the major part of the eclipse cycle. Eclipse news can still come in. If you want to know more about those eclipses, you can listen to my September and October report. I go into lots of details about both of them there. But what we need to know now is that we're at the tail end and you're kind of integrating any changes that have happened with some news filtering in. Also, with having less aspects, as I referred to earlier, it's just a time where it's just less going on, so it's easier to be present with what's happening. And the retrograde time really wants you to wait on the shore. I always like to use my shore analogy with the tides because it so beautifully illustrates this. So when the retrograde's happening, the tides are going in. So if you try to put anything out on the tides, it will still come back to you. Okay. So your long-term projects, your out far into the future projects, your things you want to last for a really long time, your big launches, your lifetime dream launches, you know, unless if it's just happening and it's out of your control, that's fine. But if you are planning this, this is a time to just deal with what comes to you and not try to push things out. Okay, so now those are the first parts of the checklist. If you can manage those things, leaving yourself as unscheduled as possible, saying a soft yes for a commitment rather than a hard yes, or a soft no for that matter, because the retrograde will tend to change whatever you think it's going to be. So if you leave flexibility, that's another success strategy for your checklist. If you leave flexibility in your November, then you will be so much happier that you did for any number of reasons. Okay, so the next things that we're going to add to the understanding here so that you can, you can get your checklist straight is a very nice discussion about the lower right quadrant of the chart where we've got a ton of fast moving activity. Of course, looking at this chart, you can see there's stuff everywhere. A lot of those things are long-term aspects. They've been there for a long time. They're going to be there for a long time. But the things that are moving more quickly a lot of them are grouped in this bottom right sector. And since those things change quickly, they work well for talking about a monthly horoscope. I may refer back to some of these longer term things, but for seeing the essence of this time, we want to look to the shorter moving planets. So there has been a theme and the theme continues, that you've got strong home energy. You have had Mars moving through your sign. Of course, Cancer rules the fourth house and the home and the family and the housing. And you've had for September and October Mars moving through your sign, hopefully making you extra ambitious, hopefully making you extra rowdy to get stuff done, especially in the open period that we had then. Very focused on home, very focused on family, trying to get things situated there. So we will talk about what Mars is going to do when it moves on, but for now I just want to talk about this fourth house. So you still have Vesta, which also rules this fourth house, transiting South Node, Lilith, Astrea, and Juno, all in this energy of the fourth house. So a very flooded home and family party with lots of focus on the house itself and the family itself and the housing itself, but also the patterns, the familial patterns, the genetics behind them, the nature and nurture that led you to the experiences that you're having now. There's a lot of energy. Juno's still there, and also Lilith brings this up of your relationships and working things out there. Now, Libra energies, as these are, make a square to Cancer. So it might show that there are some pressure points at home or in housing or in family. And, and some things have to be dealt with. And all of this Libra energy has to do with partnerships and relationships. So your relationships need some seeing to. Your home and family, maybe your actual house needs some seeing to. And that is continuing now. Okay, so moving along now, we've got a lot of energy in the fifth house. Unfortunately for Cancer, fifth house transits will make a beautiful trine to your placements. So the pressure points that you have in this fourth house with these Libra energies, you're not having that with what we're about to discuss. And instead, you're having the opposite. Smoothness, flow, ease, harmony, peace, all of that, making it much easier, dropping things in your lap, and hopefully, being several bright spots in your month. The sun will be there. The moon will be there on the 1st. You'll have the new moon at 9 degrees of Scorpio. And Mercury will be there just for a few days into the beginning of the month. But the sun will be there, for several weeks still. And, that's a big deal. So what are the kinds of things that you can use and add to your checklist for this? So checklist in the days around the 1st, making your wishes around Scorpio types of things. Scorpio types of things have to do with your deep, intimate relationships, your relationship with money, other people's money and how it affects you, other institutions and how they affect you financially, loans, debt, credit, inheritances, anything, other people's money, credit cards, taxes, things like that. So you can seed plant and make new moon wishes along the lines of things you'd like to see happen. Maybe you want more intimacy in your relationship. Maybe you want to have spiritual breakthroughs. Maybe you want to get out of debt. All of these are perfect new moon wishes for Scorpio time. And it's really great to use it that way. In the beginning of the month, the first few days, it's also great to have really deep conversations about these topics because Mercury is there and it can lend itself to that type of thing. We can also look at the fact that the new moon is in the 5th house of Leo. So you can use this new moon in the 5th house as a fresh start for creative endeavors. You can set specific intentions to explore hobbies and talents or projects that reflect your true passions. All of these are great for your checklist for this month. You can treat creativity as a form of self-discovery, and just emotional healing, and kind of view it through the lens as not being a luxury, but actually being necessary. A dear friend of mine who's passed away a while ago now, his name is Christopher Lane. He had a saying called poetry is necessary, and they all had bumper stickers that he made saying this, and it's true. We really need these aspects of our lives, and sometimes they're seen as luxuries, but our soul really needs them, and I think our brain really needs them too. So this is a time where you can, I think a practical tip that you can put on your checklist is to dedicate time daily to activities that spark joy and inspiration, whether it's painting or writing or designing or creative self-expression or going to a craft store and, just picking up what looks fun, singing, athleticism, fashion, whatever the thing is that gets you going. All of these things are great on your checklist for this month. Mercury's not going to be there very long, but it is definitely a time, like I was saying, that you can schedule a good conversation with your partner or someone else where you can be vulnerable. Something about, maybe just sharing your dreams or your passions, ideas that you have for the future, something that fosters deep connection. Now, at the same time as I'm talking about this aspect, I do also want to, may as well do it now. I do want to alert you to a challenged aspect at the beginning of the month too. We have a lot of sweetness, but we do have Mars opposing Pluto, and this is really nasty. I go into this more in my special video called November Nuisances, so you can look out for that. But just be careful here. Power struggles could actually be dangerous. People flying off the handle, points of conflict, especially regarding home and family and work and employment, or your place in the home versus your place out of the home. Now, I'm going to give you a lot more dates as we progress here, but if you're a person that loves the dates and you want my sweet and salty aspect dates and details, as well as my written organized write-up of the month, go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in, click receive. When you get the welcome letter into your inbox, click on the archive link and put November 2024 astrology to find that sweet and salty write-up. It's very extensive. It's very, it's very detailed. And if you like this kind of stuff, the dates, and have it, structured in order and such, you'll like that. Okay, so when the sun is in the 5th house, this is our big player. He'll be there the longest. This is a time to embrace the joy of play and leisure. The 5th house is your house of hobbies and joy and pleasure, your bucket list house, as I like to call it. And, it's just the time to infuse more fun into your daily life, period, whatever that looks like for you, especially in areas where you feel stuck. So a practical tip that you can add to your success list this month is to plan a playful outing or to take up some lighthearted activity or allow yourself moments of pure enjoyment. And sometimes it's really hard, so much going on. But again, I don't really think that this is just an indulgence. I feel like this is necessary for healing, and this is necessary for health, and this is necessary for well-being. And a few moments of happiness and joy can actually heal. And this is true. I've seen scientific studies, and I'm sure many of you have heard of this too, that time spent laughing, like good belly laughs, actually can kill cancer cells. So this is, this is a necessity, and this month may help you to start to usher in more of this. Now, while we're on the health topic, that's where we're going next. This usually is a very Scorpio-dominated month, and we do have these Scorpio transits, but as you see, just the sun is there for a few weeks. Everything else is sort of, passing very quickly. Mercury will get into Sagittarius, and then we'll do its retrograde in Sag. The Sun on November 23rd will get into Sagittarius. Already there at the beginning of the month are Venus and Pallas Athena. And then in the days around November 30th, there's actually a new moon in Sagittarius. And for those of us in the Eastern time zone and west of us, that's going to be a black moon. Black moons are when we've got the second new moon in a calendar month or a sign. In this case, it's a calendar month. You all in Europe and over to the east of the Eastern time zone, you'll have your new moon on December 1st. So this is not officially a black moon for you, but you will have a black moon in those time zones in the days around December 30th, because that new moon in Cap will then also be in December and will be a black moon for you. So black moons really just mean extra seed planting possibilities. When we plant a seed and really nurture that seed and it gets everything it needs, the odds of it growing strong and healthy are greater. And that's true whether it's a child or whether it's an animal or whether it's an actual seed that we plant in the ground or whether it's a creative baby or whatever it is, that the better head start it gets and the deeper those roots can start to sprout, the stronger those intentions can grow. So the black moons, the intentions that you set, the wishes that you set on those times, they have more of a chance to go deeper, go deeper with their sprouting. So that's what we have going on there. So anyway, a lot of energy in Sagittarius is the point. The Sun, Mercury, Venus, Pallas Athena, and the new moon, you can see that's, very, very, very pronounced Sagittarius energy. And in general, Sagittarius energy brings optimism and enthusiasm and different ways of looking at things that can crack open solutions to things that were staring right in front of you that seemed impossible. Even just like asking someone for help. Just a quick story about, how this Sagittarius energy can help you. If you are trying to put up hurricane shutters, for instance, and the little nuts or whatever that you're spinning around to try to get the shutters in place are not going down, but they're the right size, then you can decide, wow, it's impossible, it's not going to work. Or you can go to Lowe's and you can say, this is what's happening. And then the person who knows something more than you can say, oh, well, there's a stripping tool. And you just go through and whatever it's called. I don't even remember what it's called. But the point is that it made it work. Now, so if you were staring at a problem and it's immovable and you clearly can't get anywhere, maybe asking someone to help who knows what the heck they're doing can just clear that problem up super quickly for you. So thinking out of the box and not just staying in the narrow field of, wow, it's not working, is a way that Sagittarius energy can be helpful to you, is expanding out beyond that box you're standing in. Okay, so let's talk about some ways that the energy of the sixth house being enhanced can give you things for your success checklist. This is a health house. It's a health house partly because Virgo is ruled by planets that rule health. And also it's a health house because Virgo rules the things that we do every day. That would be the health habits. So strategies that you do every day, things you implement every day, supplements, diet, meditation, breathing, all of this stuff, regular checkups, all of this is sixth house, as are the pets and animals that we take care of every day, and your office environment or your work, whatever you do every day, your daily routine has a chance to be profoundly refreshed and more enthusiasm and joy added to it. You see that there are some themes between this fifth house energy because it's ruled by Leo, which is a fire sign, and these Sag energies because that's also a fire sign, and this enthusiastic approach, this openness, this vibrance. There are several lines of energy here that we're adding to the layers of this month that have this fire, and of course fire, I always say, is put the fire here and then here's your Cancer watery pot. It adds bubbles. So it can spur you to action is the point. And even though Mars might be getting you lazy, going to retrograde might be getting you lazy in some ways, or it might start helping you to fine tune your focus. And the other retrograde, Mercury, might be starting to slow certain things down. You are having all this fire under your watery pot, so it actually can be very productive. And the way that you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing is you'll have minimal frustration. This is a time, Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde, if you're trying to push through something and you're frustrated, that's your cue to stop. Other times, you're supposed to push through the frustration and then get to the other side. But this is a time when the universe is speaking to you through that frustration, saying, hey, maybe there's a better way. But you will want to take action, and you will want to do things, and you will want to turn this water into steam from this heat that can happen from this fire. And just let yourself be lit up by it. Let yourself be bubbled and effervescent from it. So as the planets are moving into the sixth house, this is a very ideal time to review and improve these health habits. The Sagittarius combination here may call for new and adventurous approaches to the way that you handle fitness and wellness, or maybe a travel wellness vacation, or learning about or teaching about health. Since Venus is here, it's possible that maybe you're going to make some money from teaching people about health and wellness. That's also something interesting. And Pallas Athena is always a bold leader and strategist. So the conjunction there at the beginning of the month, is pretty awesome. Pallas Athena adding to this whole mix can bring this strategic wisdom to the sixth house. So if you need a strategy, now, as I talked about before, a long-term strategy may not be sustainable or doable at this time, but certainly short-term and experimental strategies are very well indicated, and Pallas here can help you to be intentional about organizing these ideas. The sixth house is very much about organization. So another practical tip that we can add to your success checklist has to do with using tools like task lists or calendars or apps to organize your workflow. All of this Sag energy is kind of all over the place. And so this might make your routine as a Cancer all over the place because Sagittarius rules this house for you. So you may need extra help through an app or through something, a person who knows how to do this stuff well and can help you plan your days with specific goals in mind, and then help you to break down larger projects, these Sagittarius larger projects, into manageable steps. So this is a really good time for things like that. Venus here is also helpful to creating harmonious collaborations and teamwork and building positive relationships with your colleagues or other people that you see every day, or the people you provide a service to. This can also represent your customers. So something that you can do in your checklist is to offer help and support to others. Any support that you give people now, they will really remember it. Sometimes people don't always remember when we help them, but something about Venus and Pallas Athena being here together increases the odds that someone will remember that you showed up for them now. And this can help you for your future experience and help you to feel good too. Overall, you're looking for how to create a more pleasant work environment, and the cooperative attitude may help you to do that. So the new moon at the end of November, or the beginning of December, however it falls for you, is definitely an opportunity to set intentions related to work and health and pets and animals and work with animals. It can help you, request help and support for these long-term goals for your daily routines, but have those long-term goals be broken down into short-term goals that are manageable and sustainable in this time. You can do a new moon ritual and write down your goals and say them out loud and feel them as if they've already come true. And that can help you to do this. You can also make a vision board and have it somewhere where your subconscious mind can pick it up. This is referred to in some ways as a metaphysical tool, but it's really a psychological tool. But in my mind, metaphysical, science, physiological, all of it is really the same. And the things that people think are metaphysical have a grounded basis in science, in the scientific practical reality. It's just sometimes science hasn't caught up with being able to substantiate that yet. But one of these things is these vision boards, because when your mind sees something constantly in your face, it's your reticular activating system is getting told that you want more of this. It's that activating system will filter out things so that you don't go crazy. And sometimes you're filtering out things that could be helpful for you because the things in front of you, you're telling your mind, this is what you want more of. So the vision boards can help you to start to revamp that way. Now, in general, this sixth house with Sagittarius flow is all about breaking free from limiting routines and limiting habits And all of this flow and flush of fresh Sag energy is encouraging you to introduce spontaneity into your daily schedule, or work from a new location, or drive a new way to work, or take breaks to explore, take a walk at lunch, incorporate fun into your work, avoid rigid plans or patterns, explore new ways of researching, or approaching the things that you do every day, and see if you can have like a fresh look at your responsibilities to make them a little bit less heavy. So as the sun gets here, we're going to add to the whole mix that there's shining a light on your purpose and how your work aligns with your purpose, and a time to try to bring more meaning and passion into your work, and consider how, if not now, you may start to be able to do more work like that in the future. And the sun will also act as a spotlight to show you everything great about everything that the sixth house in Sag is ruling. And it's also a time when you might see the things that are awry that need to be worked out. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the movement of Mars. So I'm going to go back to that. So for 2 months, you've had it going through, enlivening your physical body and all of the things we talked about there in September and October. And now you have what will be an extended period of time of Mars in Leo. And this lights up your second house of money and finances, and focus on your income and your purchasing power and the things that you buy and the things that you own or steward, and your connection with the earth and the natural rhythms. So Mars here may make you very passionate and focused on this realm. It is still direct until December 6th, technically, right? So, and then it will go retrograde in Leo, and then it will go retrograde back into Cancer, and then it will go direct back through the second house. So usually only have about 2 months every 2 years and 2 months through a house, but you're having an extended time. So hopefully that will help you get more focused on things with your money, get more, get some material things, or some, socially conscious or ecologically focused. However this is manifesting for you, some headway will be made very likely in these arenas. You could also get raise in this time. You could push for a raise and kind of command or demand it. And your readiness and your confidence to do that is going to be very strong from this transit. Your spending power and your spending capacity and your spending tendency may also increase. So it's something to also be aware of, that you may be making the money, you may also be spending it. So, however you want to handle that, put a little aside for savings, or be okay with the fact that you may spend it as quickly as it came in and be happy with the things you bought. But it looks like a lot of activity there. Another date that I want to give you, November 15th, that is when we have the full moon at 24 degrees of Taurus. That's going to happen in your 11th house. And it's going to be conjunct Uranus. I do talk about this in the November Nuisances post as well, so you can get more details about that. But fullness, completion, fruition, drama coming to the energy of the second house, because the second house, Taurus rules the second house, but it's happening in your 11th house. Taurus is finances and money and material items, your connection with the earth. So you might see something notable happen there, a manifestation, some drama for better or worse, things coming out of the blue for better or worse because Uranus is here, and groups and teams and networks and communities, online presence and social media, something notable happening there. You may have to listen to this more than once to get down your checklist if you want to follow it, but I know that I've given you a lot of things that you can create your success strategy checklist for this month. I hope it's been helpful. So make sure to subscribe and click the bell. If you don't click the bell, I don't think my notifications will go into your inbox. And enable notifications so that you don't miss anything from me in the future. Okay, so I've given you some dates to note for this month. If you want more dates because you want to see the sweet dates, the salty dates, when are the best days to do what? When are the best days to be awareful and careful of? Then go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address and then click receive. And then you'll get into your inbox my welcome letter. In the archive, click on the archive link and put November 2024 astrology in the archive link, and that will bring you to my November write-up. Okay, so plus you'll get all kinds of goodies, and I'm always thinking of new ways to get goodies to my free VIP crew, which is what you become when you sign up there. You'll get my free 28-day, very comprehensive virtual coaching program for free. You'll get a Train Your Brain subliminal audio to relax and unwind to help you stay calm during tough astrological transits. You'll access my wonderland of astrology education to help you align with the natural rhythms of the month. I do send out monthly mini astrology lessons, and you do have access to all the archives as a member of my free VIP community. You also get access to my eclipse resource page to understand those cycles as they go through, and my health tips for the zodiac signs. So you just get so much. You can find it all in the welcome letter, so you can go there. Now on that same page, if you scroll down, you can access my secret star portal. This is where you will find my 2025 retrograde direct calendar for your planning, to know the open windows for next year, the times that will be much easier to push things out when the tides are going out. And if you want to learn astrology, I'm your girl. I've got a ton of free things. Obviously, if you're listening to my work, you see that I'm teaching for free online. But if you want a more structured system and you want to learn how to become a professional astrologer, either just to help yourself and your family and friends or to earn money, that is my area of expertise. I've been teaching astrology for 20 years. I've been a successful astrologer for 20 years, and also a successful online practitioner for a good bit of that time. And it all comes through in my Become a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. So you can click on Up Level there and see my basics course, or what you get that course for free when you join the Professional Astrology Certification course. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.